Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Salam Media. I'm your host for this evening, Dhakir Dawood, on this very beautiful Friday evening. Blessed yet again, we are to witness and experience another Friday evening. Well, it's Friday night, time for your favorite sports show that you're going to find anywhere on the globe. Well, we're going to start off with some basketball. Many of you thinking, why basketball? Well, South Africa has their first team that's going to be playing in the Basketball African League. Well, not just that, they're from the mother city, they are from Cape Town, and they're going to be representing flying the flag high after having to travel around the continent to qualify for the playoffs. Now they finally have the chance to do South Africa proud and fly our South African flag high. And we're going to be chatting a bit later to Raphael Edwards, who's going to tell us all about that. Then after that, we're going to be chatting to the first vice president of SASCOC, Lwandile Simelane, telling us all about what it takes to be one of the country's top administrators. When we talk top administrators, she's a female as well. We're going to be finding out about the challenges that she faces to be a female administrator and to be one of the best in the country and possibly on the continent. Well, stay tuned to Salam Media. We're going to be chatting to you all about that. Well, interact and engage with us on social media. Please, please, please do so because your opinions matter and that what helps keep the content going and keeps the show flowing. Well, you can get all of us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Salam Media. Yep, at Salam Media. If you can see the signs behind me, that's the spelling, the exact spelling, how to get it. And that's how we got it. But first up, let's chat all things basketball to Raphael Edwards. Well, the Cape Town Tigers basketball continue to go from strength to strength in their quest for continental glory as they will progressed to the playoffs of the Basketball Africa League in Kigali, Rwanda. That will be taking place later this month. To chat to us more about that, Raphael, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to chat to us. It's good having you on Salam Media the first time. Hope there's many more.
Definitely. Thank you for having me. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. Raphael, let's jump straight into it. Cape Town Tigers basketball isn't one of the, let's say, first choice sports for the youth in South Africa. How did you guys come about the Cape Town Tigers basketball team?
Well, it's not one of the main sports here, but it has a strong growing culture, I believe. And I guess it just needed a team such as ours to just take the lid off of everything because now it's such a huge ripple effect, not only in Cape Town, but throughout South Africa in general.
Tell us a bit more about this team. I mean, you were established not too long ago. You guys went viral on the socials. The culture is growing in South Africa in terms of basketball. We now see basketball being broadcasted again, and the interest and the hype is there. And I would say somewhat you guys are responsible for that, for starting this hype and getting things off the ground again because the interest is there. Now the hype is here. How did you guys start out and how long have you been in existence?
Well, I would say humbly speaking, we definitely were the spark that started all the excitement of basketball here in South Africa again. And I'm extremely proud of that, and the organization is proud of that. As a company, we've only been around for 3 years. The basketball team has only been playing for about a year now, but yeah, it's just a lot of hard work. We have a very young team. We have an athletic team, an exciting team. We play a different brand of basketball that's not typically seen in South Africa or Africa in general, and we just have a different basketball culture. Like little things we do, people mentioned to me when we were in Cairo playing in the BAL. They said, "You guys' basketball culture is starting to spread now to these other professional teams. That in the beginning of the week they weren't doing certain things that they're doing now, and it's because of us." And we put a feather in our cap because of that. We're proud of that.
And I mean, looking at it, the ripple effect obviously had it. And where did you manage to find basketball players in South Africa as a whole?
All over. We have a great staff. We have Elvis, Vincent, one of our assistant coaches. We have Relton Boyson, our GM. We have a great staff that's really grounded here, grassroots wise. And they did all the scouting for the national players, and they sent me tons of videos, and I watched videos. And then we decided together on who we should pick and who would best fit our brand of basketball. And it was funny because a lot of people said we didn't even take the best basketball players in South Africa. We took the players that we thought can grow into our system the best. So that's that formed up the Cape Town Tigers.
You guys have managed to grow your base around the country, and now your fan base is growing all over the continent. That is something that's so amazing because, yet alone, did you not only spread basketball in South Africa, now it's going to the continent, taking these group of players to get competitive again after not having much competitive basketball in South Africa for the longest time. Was it a bit of a challenge for you?
It's a challenge because, you know, what some may think is working hard isn't working hard to others or at a certain level. So it took around 8 months of hard training. Like, we trained 2 times a day, 6 days out the week, you know, and I knew for us to have a competitive team, a successful team, I had to raise the level of the national guys. And then when we bring in our imports, you know, we get a bevy of different former NBA players or whatever. Then I had to also help them with their skills and talents, but then also mesh all the egos together. So it is definitely hard work.
And you speak about the egos and the talents. And you know what? In a sporting environment, if you don't have the ego and you don't have the talent, let's say you're pretty much going to be mediocre. I mean, look at the likes of Michael Jordan. Many people say that he was arrogant, he was egotistical, but you have to do what you have to do to be the best. And
You
do you
do.
think that we are well on track to being one of the best teams in the continent?
I definitely do. Right now, not only with the placing that we have in BAL, this country, the continent, has still yet to see our best brand of basketball.
Hmm.
I've only seen it a handful of times in practice where out of 100%, I thought we were at 80%. When we were in Cairo, the highest we've reached was around 50%. So the continent, the BAL, has yet to see our best. Where I feel like I watch these other teams, I mean, and don't get me wrong, they're great teams, and I would
Hmm.
love for our organization to follow in their footsteps historically. You know, you got teams that's been around for 100 years, 40 years. I would love to say that the Cape Town Tigers was around that long. But watching them play, humbly speaking, I believe that they're at their limits. They may get a little bit better, but they are who we are. I think that our team has yet to show who we actually are. And we were still in every game played. Even if we lost it, we were still in every game played. And even the games we won, we didn't play a good brand of basketball. So
Hmm.
the Tigers has a huge upside. Huge.
Well, with the competitive nature of basketball, and let's say in order to compete globally, you have to have a good local competition. And locally, we've just got the Basketball National League that's currently underway. Do you think that our basketball is on the level to compete on a global scale, or what are you going to do for the Cape Town Tigers team to get them to perform at a global level?
Well, no, definitely not. We're nowhere near a global level of basketball without national leagues. One thing the Cape Town Tigers is going to do is we're going to start training coaches on how to train the players. So now the next generation of kids growing up, they'll have a stronger fundamental base and foundation so they can advance the level. Secondly, what we plan on doing for our team is after the BAL is done, we're going over to playing the biggest summer basketball tournament in Europe, which is the Quad 54 in Paris. It's the biggest thing in summertime basketball there. We're going to go over there. We're planning to go over there and win it. After we play in the Quad 54, we're going to head to New York City, and we have a 9-game tour that we're going to play along the Nike, the brand Jordan, Summer League teams, the pro teams there in all the
Mm.
historic parks and the historic gyms throughout New York City. We're going to play all those guys there, 9 games. Then we're going to come back to Cape Town. We may have another big tournament here, the likes of that South Africa has never seen. High-level international talent, bring them into the city, have a tournament here, and then prepare for what's next, prepare for the next season of BAL.
Hmm. Well, I mean, that's definitely exciting schedule that you told us in your plan to get the Cape Town Tigers to that level and South African basketball as a whole. We're excited to see how all of this unfolds. But now, you guys have done amazing work on with the Cape Town Tigers, and I mean, to get to the Basketball African League must have been a phenomenal challenge itself. I mean, having to go compete um, in the Nile region and then win that, and now you're competing for, let's say, for the African region. Tell us a bit about this whole process. I mean, this has been a long journey, and to get to the pinnacle of what African basketball is, you're there now. Tell us about your journey. How did it go from the first game to where you are now, the ups, the downs, and just
Well, I
what
would
brought out
say,
the man?
while I'm the face of the team, this team is powered by a lot of people. I definitely couldn't do it without my partners. I have 2 African American women partners and a buddy of mine back in the States. They're my partners. I couldn't do this without Relton, which is the general manager. I couldn't do it without our assistant GM, Elvis, our assistant coach, Vincent. He's like the soul of the team, the energy of the team. He's deeply rooted with Guguletu. He's a national player. I mean, I could go on and on down to our driver, man. Our
Mm,
drivers in the practices with us, clapping, jumping in the huddles with us. It's really a family structured, orientated organization. And it was difficult to get through the red tape of South Africa basketball, people not wanting to see us do well. And then just having the talent and, like I said, meshing everyone together. We talk about egos. I purposefully look for guys with chips on their shoulders, with something to prove, because that's the motivational tool that I use to drive them. Now it's up to me to be able to harness all of that energy, all of the egos, and bring them in and let them realize that we could only do this together. And that's
mm.
something I always tell my guys. I'm not going to win this BAL championship alone. None of us will. And the only thing that helps us is discipline and consistency. That's what's going to get us the championship. And I don't only talk it, I walk it. That's the way of my life. And I believe that these guys see that and they buy into it and they believe it. So that's why we're all attached and all connected.
And I mean, you see, this is some championship winning coaching mentality that we're working with here. And you know what? I think that if there's anyone that needs to have a course for coaches on how coaches should mesh egos together, I think you've got that on point, Raphael. Look, you played in the Nile conference, which took place in Egypt against 6 other African countries that obviously qualified for the competition. You won 2 out of your 5 games there, which was enough to qualify for the playoffs. Was it a big shift preparing in South Africa and then obviously going abroad, or not abroad, up in Africa to compete? Was there a bit of a shift in mentality, preparation, mindset?
It's a huge shift because, first of all, the speed of the game is completely different. And the skill that we just spoke about, the skill of the game is completely different. Whereas here, if you're playing against a guy, it may take him 2 or 3 seconds to get that shot off. Over there, it's a half a second and the shot is gone. Secondly,
Mm.
the South African national guys has never been on a stage anywhere near close to what BAL is, anywhere near it. So, and I told them from a coaching standpoint, I haven't either. I said, so don't worry
Mm.
about it. I said, because it's how we prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, physically is going to get us over the hump. I said, of course, when you first get out there on the court, it's going to be like a shock and it's going to hit you. I said, settle in and trust in the work that we've been doing, and it's going to get us
Mm.
over the top. I know the speed of the game at the highest level. And like I said, when we're playing our brand of basketball, we can compete with anybody or better than anybody.
And what was it like competing against Africa's best? I mean, coming there, yes, you qualified for the playoffs, which will be taking place later this month. But what were some of the key takings that you took out of that tournament that will help you prep for the upcoming playoffs that will be happening in Rwanda?
It's sort of like getting punched in your face for your first time. And it's like after you get hit, it's like, wow, it wasn't that bad. It's not that difficult. And now you realize what you can do. And that's why I said we take our notes, we studied everything that happened, all the games, the good and the bad. But what we realized is these teams as powerhouses or so-called powerhouses on the continent, they're at the rim. It's no more filling. You can't pour more water into a full glass. They are full. This is who they are. We're only at half of our glass right now that we've showed. So I'm expecting and hoping that we prepare enough and everybody buys into it enough and we come out. And I don't want to be 100%. I just want to be able to show up in Kigali and be 75, 80%. And we're going to see what these other teams, how they deal with that.
Well, you talked about 75, 80%. Now, for the regular viewer out there that's at home watching this around the globe, wherever they are, um, they don't have much of a basketball history or much of a sport history. Tell us what it's like with your preparation for Rwanda, Kigali, how you're going to be preparing for that tournament, and how's everything going to unfold closer to time?
Some of the things that we prepare for, well, practice, we go over plays nonstop. We haven't even touched on what our opponent does yet. I believe that we work on ourselves first and foremost, and we master ourselves. So we're going over our plays, we're going over defensive schemes, we're going over all types of things. We're shooting a lot, we're running a ton, we have our beach runs, we run in the sand, and that's just all the physical and the skill work. Most of the guys on the team follow me on social media, and I'm constantly posting subliminal messages to them just on leadership, on staying together, on fighting, on, just the strong mental aspect of it, because I believe we all need to raise our level mentally as well. So it's twofold, it's the skill, the physical stuff, but then it's also mentally. So I'm just trying to bring everybody together and up at the same time.
And with your physical performance obviously being on a level that's competitive now, I'm sure your periodization had to change in order to be match ready for Rwanda. And in terms of your periodization, what is it like getting sports scientists involved and people behind the scenes in the sporting industry from an academic perspective? Because like we said earlier, basketball is new to the country, and I'm sure many of these people, let's say scientists, therapists, don't have much of a basketball background, and this is something new for them as well. How have they adapted in terms of fitting in with the team?
The people that we have working with the guys, like I do a lot of strength and conditioning stuff also, but the people that we have that's working with the guys is what I tell them, and what people need to know is what makes a football player, soccer player, or basketball player fast, quick, athletic is the same thing. That's why they say CrossFit. There's certain things you do that trains your body to be able to explode through any sport. Now, when it becomes basketball specific or soccer specific, then I handle the training of that and the movements. But what makes everyone strong and faster is all the same thing.
Facts. And I like the way something so complex that many sports take out of proportion, you just simplified it just like that. So with Rwanda coming up, how many days before the time do you guys leave when you depart? And how can we stay up to date with the Tigers? Where can we watch you guys' games? We need to know everything, man, because right now you guys are flying the country's flag high, and we're not going to be doing you guys any justice or ourselves any justice for not backing you.
Yeah, we definitely want backing. We definitely want support. That South African flag will be flying high, rest assured. We leave on Tuesday to Kigali. We play our first game on the 22nd against US Monster, who is in Tunisia, and they just won their national championship. So, they're high on the hog and, feeling good about themselves. The games will be played on ESPN, NBA TV, and through the BAL website. So you can catch us there all the updates to the game, please go and follow our social media, Cape Town Tigers on social media, the Cape Town Tigers. Follow the page, be active with the page. We're extremely active with what's going on, and you can see when we're playing. We put up links, everything. So the support of the country is needed, and it's appreciated.
Nope, we're definitely going to be backing you guys, Raphael. And I mean, all the best for the tournament coming up. And we wish you all the best from Salam Media, South Africa as a whole. We're backing you guys. We're knowing that, look, no matter the outcome, you've explained to us the bigger picture and what you guys are working on. And if the bigger picture gets completed in the future, what is now a milestone for you guys will be a regular thing for every other team in South African basketball. Inshallah, we're crossing fingers and toes. All the best to you guys until we chat soon.
Yes, and I'll say when and not if. When.
When.
It will be materialized, exactly.
No, definitely. Well, Raphael, that's all we have time for this afternoon. But thanks so much for your time. We will be sure to follow you on all social media platforms, share everything on our platforms as well, so that people can stay up to date with what the Cape Town Tigers are doing. Well, good luck for the tournament. We'll chat after the tournament, and I hope that you're going to come bearing good news.
We will, for sure. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Always a pleasure. That was Raphael Alexander Edwards, the head coach of the Cape Town Tigers basketball team, who will be departing to Rwanda, where they'll be taking part in the Basketball Africa League, where they qualified after participating in the Nile conference. Done enough to get them through to the African Games, and now they're going to be doing the most down there. Us in Joburg, Salam Media, South Africa, we got to support them. We need to make sure that we're behind them and do what needs to be done. Well, stay tuned. We're going to be taking a quick break. When we do come back, we're going to be chatting to Luandile Similani, the first vice president of SASCOC. Let's hear about